Hi everybody, welcome back to Tangled in Stitches. This is the last part of the 5-part series on Learn to Crochet. I would just like to start by saying well done if you've gotten this far because this is such an achievement. So now in part 5, we're going to learn how to treble crochet. And then at the end, we're just going to do some little extra things that we haven't learned yet but are really important in learning when you're starting a project or whenever you're doing your first beginner project. These are really important parts of your project. So let's start with doing our treble crochet. So we're going to be doing our treble crochet again into a magic ring. So you can quickly just make your magic ring as it was explained in part 3. So I've just made my magic ring here. So this is my magic ring. As you can see, this is the magic ring. Now, when you do a magic ring, you kind of chain 1 here. We're gonna chain 2 more to have a total of 3 chains. So yarn over, pull through. And then yarn over and pull through. So what you should have is something that just looks like this. Back to 3 chains. Now the reason why we're chaining 2 more is because a treble crochet, the height of a treble crochet is 3 chains, and we want to build up to the height so it isn't just a random ascend and then it will turn wonky. We don't want it to go wonky, which is why we chain. So I'm going to start with our treble crochet. Now a treble crochet is very similar to a double crochet. It's kind of the same pattern but just a bit longer. So let's start with our treble crochet. So now to start our treble crochet, what we do is we have to yarn over twice. So this is what we would do. This is 1 yarn over. We just need to do the exact same thing again to get a yarn over twice, and we should look like this. It looks like we have 3 loops and a hook. Then we're just gonna insert our hook into the magic ring, just like that. Remember with the tail. Then we yarn over, we pull through the magic ring to get ourselves out, and what we should be left with is 4 loops and a hook. This is what we're left with. There's 4 loops right here. We're going to do something similar to what we do with double crochet. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2 of those loops. So 1, 2. We should be left with 3 loops and a hook. Going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops and a hook again. What should be left with is 2 loops. So far we've just done this. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, which is basically the last 2. So just yarn over and pull through all the remaining loops to just get your ordinary 1 loop on the hook. So this is our treble crochet. This is our chain 3 and this is our treble crochet. Let's do another treble crochet. So yarn over twice. This is once. And again, yarn over twice. Insert your hook into your magic circle, magic ring, whatever you call it. Then yarn over. Pull out the loop. And then what you're left with is 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through 2 of those loops. First one, second one. Yarn over again. And again, pull through 2 of your loops. First one, second one. What should be left with now is 2 loops on your hook. So then just yarn over and pull through the remaining 2. Done 2 treble crochet. Let's do 5. So again, yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, pull up the 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through again 2 loops. Finally, yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. that was our third treble crochet. You can kind of push them together if you want. That's our 3 treble crochet. So we're a bit faster now, our 4th one. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull out a loop, and then we have 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, 2 of the loops, but after 3 loops in the hook, yarn over, 2, and then yarn over and pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. So that was our 4th treble crochet. Let's do our last treble crochet. So we're going to start again by yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops on the hook, finally yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. So now we finished doing treble crochet. We're now just going to look at small things that can be used to help you in your projects. First, let's look at fasting off. So let's just say this is my project. Now to fasten off, the easiest way to fasten off is all you need to do is just yarn over and pull through. So basically all you've done is just chain 1, get your scissors, and just cut off a decent tail. Just like that. Then what you do is you take your hook and you just pull it, and there you are. Then with here, you can still see that little chain there. So what you need to do is just tighten. So just tighten it and you've just successfully fastened off your project and it won't get undone. Now let's look at weaving in ends. Weaving in ends is basically hiding these really long tails you get at the end. And to do it, you use something called a darning needle. They have very big eyes to be able to fit your yarn, especially if you're using very thick yarn. You can get them in metal or plastic, and you can get them in different sizes and different colors. It doesn't really matter, whatever you find more comfortable and whatever you use with your yarn. So basically all you need to do is get one of your tails and do a little loop like that. Get your darning needle and just pull it through. It might take a few tries, especially if you've got yarn that separates. Just do is just pull, and you've attached your yarn onto there. And you can go to the wrong side. So this is my wrong side of my work. You just catch a few random loops. So I'm just going to catch 3. Okay, I've caught 3, and here I see nothing of my darning needle. This is what you want. You do not want your darning needle to be going through, otherwise there's no point of hiding it if you're going to see the yarn. Then just pull. Make sure you don't get your other yarn stuck too in it. Now you should do a better job and do it closer to where it is, but this is fine, it's just a rough project. And what you just do is keep doing that up and down, and then once you're done, you can just cut the yarn off and it's secured in. So that's how you weave your ends in. The next thing is these little guys here. They're called stitch markers. You can buy stitch markers, you can get them in different designs, but what you can also use are like bobby pins, or even for the scarf you can get those pins. You can even use those, or even you can use a different colored thread. I see people do that. They're really, really useful for if you're doing continuous rows in amigurumi, which is when you don't slip stitch, and what you do is you do a stitch marker onto every first one. So what you do is you go through the whole V of the stitch. So you just go through that whole V, just like that, and then you can close it off. Then if you need to go back, so close it, or if you're using a bobby pin, you don't really need to close it. And I'll show to you why these are useful. So I'm going to show you an example. So I imagine I've just finished my round and I'm doing this in continuous rows. That means I will not be slip stitching to close a round. Instead, because I'm doing half double crochets, I do it straight into the first one and use stitch markers to mark it, because once you start getting more rounds, it can be hard to find that first stitch you did. That's my first stitch. Since I did a stitch marker, it's a bit easy because it's the first round. So what I do is I just take out the stitch marker. I keep my thumb holding that stitch. I insert my hook. First I need to yarn over it because I'm doing half double crochets and not single crochets. Even though I'm going to use single crochets. And I can quickly do my half double crochet, and this will be considered my first stitch of round 2. Since it's my first stitch, what I need to do is get my little buddy stitch marker and go through those two loops to get a V. And then after that, I'll show you how it would look if I didn't have the stitch marker in when I finish the second round. It's a bit rough, but for example, if I did not have the stitch marker here, I would not realize that this stitch is my first stitch of the round, and I would carry on going, not realizing that, wait a second, this is my first stitch, I need to change my pattern, for example, or I need to do increases or whatever I need to do. That is why we use stitch markers. And you can get different types of stitch markers. You don't have to use an actual stitch marker. You can use different things you can find around your house. So now I'm just going to have a picture, and I'm just going to show you some abbreviations we use in our crochet patterns. So if you're following a pattern and not a tutorial, if you see these little letters and like, what is that? What do I need to do? I'll share with you at the end, soon, some abbreviations. And I'd just like to say thank you so much for coming and joining the journey to become a beginner crochet. You should be able to follow lots of tutorials now. However, I will be posting some more tutorials soon, so if you want to go through those, you can. Just remember to carry on practicing. If it doesn't work the first time, it will probably work the second time. I hope you have a lovely time crocheting, and I hope to see you in my patterns, tutorials, etc. Bye!